Is it on?
I don't know. I'm not the one working on that thing.
Well, the red light is blinking.
Then it's probably on, Milo.
Sorry, I don't know how cameras work.
Hey, neither do I. There's a reason why I'm host and not crew.
Speaking of the crew, how are you doing back there?
Start the damn show!
Yeah, we could probably cut to the intro. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Real Deal, Ball State's premier and currently only news network, as unfortunately Newslink was slaughtered.
Shush. We can't say that on air.
Milo, we are not on air. This is not a live show.
We're not?
No. And even if we were, there are only like 10 people in the area that we could be broadcasting to. And half of them are in the production booth right now.
Oh. So this is just recorded, edited, and then released to the public?
That would be the dream, but chances are that this will never get edited or released.
Because of the apocalypse, right?
Yes, because of the apocalypse. And nothing else.
Well, on the off chance that this does get released to the world, shouldn't we use the power for good and tell people how the world ended?
We could,
Oh.
or we can make them guess,
Ooh! Why would we do that?
because I want to.
Seems legit. Let's cut to the first segment, and when we return, we can give you the first option of how the world ended.
Hello, everyone. And in case you don't know, the goose is in fact loose. It is me, once again, Isaac Petz. Back again, born again, you might say, because today I will be reviewing Daredevil Born Again. In case you don't know, Daredevil Born Again is a half sequel series, half revival of an original show, simply called Daredevil. Now, the original show is damn near almost perfect. 10 out of 10s across the board. It's the perfect street-level vigilante show. This new season, on the other hand, let me start with what I like. The main plotline with the corrupt police is written great. The side plotlines, I'll get to that in a minute. I also like the performances of all the characters. I think the one thing that stayed consistent over the series is the acting. Some of the fights are shot and edited really well, like the one take with Bullseye in the first episode. I also kind of like, in theory, how jam-packed this season is. Like, it has Bullseye, it has the Punisher, it has Kingpin, and it even has a new character named Muse. Now, for what I don't like, and there is a lot. First of all, the cinematography, while not being terrible, is a huge step down from the original. After watching the first episode, I went back to the original series to make sure I wasn't tripping, and I was right. The original series had way better shot composition and lighting. It also doesn't help that the show has Disney money now, so you can clearly see that almost every scene is done on a soundstage instead of on location. Another thing I'm not really into is the Kingpin subplot. He doesn't really seem to have a plan as the mayor. We don't even really know what his policies are when he's running. He kind of just reacts to situations as they come to him, like when Muse shows up. Speaking of Muse, I don't like him either. I think he gets his ass beaten way too quickly. He has very little screen time before episode 6, and then he's just used as a way to get Daredevil out of retirement. He could have been way more interesting than that. They might do more with him in the first 3 episodes, but I doubt it. It kind of just feels like he was supposed to be a side quest for Daredevil to get back into fighting crime. Also, you may have noticed I said that Daredevil comes out of retirement by episode 6. That's right, in the Daredevil show, Daredevil spends 5.5 of the 8 episodes not being Daredevil. He was too busy being a bum and hanging out with his girlfriend. Okay, now all of this I could forgive. Literally everything I just mentioned meant nothing. What I'm ultimately upset about is how much they toned down Matt's Catholic background. Now, Daredevil being a devout Catholic is arguably more important than him being blind, him being a lawyer, him being a superhero, anything like that. It's what drives almost all of his actions, his morality, everything. This is something the original show understood perfectly. There's a part at the end of season 3 where he has to make a decision. I'm not going to spoil it, what it is, but he has to make a decision, and this decision, you see him praying, you see him talking to his friends, you see him talking to priests, you see him having religious debates with people. It's ultimately the underlying heart of the whole show. In the new show, you see him look at a church and pray once. Like, it's clear to me that they didn't want his faith to be a big part of this show. And as a Catholic myself, I really liked seeing a superhero who lived his life similar to how I grew up, reading the rosary, going to Mass, going to confession. And the fact that they're trying to de-religiousify Daredevil is kind of upsetting to me. Overall, I would give this season so far a 3 out of 5. It's still good, it just kind of lost all the sauce the original show had.
All right, gang, this is the first option. It's pretty complicated, but we're going to do our best to break it down for you.
I can't dance.
Okay, so, in simplest terms, a YouTuber that was really pissed off at America invented a new element in order to cause an economic depression in the United States and China, and then do a bunch of drone strikes.
That can't be right.
I mean, again, that's the most bare-bone version of what happened, but that's pretty much it.
Why don't we do anything to stop them?
We did. A bunch of Black Ops agents were sent to stop him, but he had too much internet clout. So when we killed him, it caused a bunch of riots in D.C., they stormed the Capitol, and burned down the White House.
Wait, they stormed the Capitol?
Not like that. Kind of like that, but not like that.
Oh my god, the world ended because of Donald Trump?
And we're going to cut to our next segment. See you afterwards with our second option on how the world ended.
All right, let's get started. Number 1, substances which will promote logical thinking and impulsiveness to the point where the recipient would be discredited in public. Number 2, substances which increase the efficiency of mentation and perception. Number 3, materials which will prevent or counteract the intoxicating effect of alcohol. Number 4, materials which will promote the intoxicating effect of alcohol. Number 5, materials which will produce the signs and symptoms of recognized diseases in a reversible way so that they may be used for malingering, etc. Number 6, materials which will render the induction of hypnosis easier or otherwise enhance its usefulness. Number 7, substances which will enhance the ability of individuals to withstand privation, torture, and coercion during interrogation and so-called brainwashing. That's in quotes. Number 8, materials and physical methods which will produce amnesia for events preceding and during their use. Number 9, physical methods of producing shock and confusion over extended periods of time and capable of surreptitious use. Number 10, wow, double digits, all right. Substances which produce physical disablement such as paralysis of the legs, acute anemia, etc. Number 11, substances which will produce pure, that's in quotes, euphoria with no subsequent letdown. Number 12, substances which alter personality structure in such a way that the tendency of the recipient to become dependent upon another person is enhanced. Number 13, I think? I don't know, I can't count. A material which will cause a mental confusion of such a type that the individual under its influence will find it difficult to maintain a fabrication under questioning. Number 14, substances which will lower the ambition and general working efficiency of men when administered in undetectable amounts. Number 15, substances which promote weakness or distortion of the eyesight or hearing faculties, preferably without permanent effects. Number 16, a knockout pill which can surreptitiously be administered in drinks, food, cigarettes, as an aerosol, etc., which will be safe to use, provide a maximum of amnesia, and be suitable for use by an agent types on an ad hoc basis. And number 17, a material which can be surreptitiously administered by the above roots and which in very small amounts will make it impossible for a man to perform any physical activity whatsoever. And yeah, that's it. Bye.
Hey, Chris, you had your fun talking about that thing that happened on January 6th?
Technically not what I was talking about, but yeah, that was just an eerily similar coincidence.
But now it's my turn, and I'm going to talk about monsters on the rim of the Pacific Ocean.
That's not what... Chris, it's okay. Just gonna hold it back. As you were saying.
Not sure why Chris is talking to himself, but maybe it has something to do with the kaiju that keeps spawning from the space portal in the Pacific Ocean and attacking cities like New York
That's on the Atlantic.
and Canada
That's a country.
and Luxembourg.
It's also a country, a landlocked country, in Europe. Very, very far away from the Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean.
But earlier, we're just not gonna pull the pin on that grenade.
But it's okay, because we built giant robots to beat 7 shades of snout out of those weird snark-looking things. And there was never any problem with this strategy.
Until the monsters got bigger, smarter, and developed EMPs.
And then all the monsters fused together so they could climb Mount Fuji.
Nope, we're not talking about that movie.
Oh, what? But luckily, John Boyega and Scott Eastwood were there to fight them back into the Pacific Ocean.
Nope. Cut to the last segment, for the love of God, I'm gonna freak!
Hello, Real Deal, and welcome to Dawson's Poetry Hour. Today, I've got 2 of my favorite pieces about a very special breakfast food, written and performed by Harry Henderson and Alan Turner and Joseph V. Verrey. We had a toaster once that claimed it featured toast logic. It never seemed to toast the bread the same way 2 times in a row. So maybe its logic was toast. I think I might cry. On to the next one. This is your mind. This is your mind on toast. This is your toast. This is your toast on my mind. Stunning, spectacular, splendiferous, stupendous, sagacious, salient. True art. Both of them. Back to the show.
You doing better now, Chrissy? You got pretty heated at the end there.
I know, I apologize.
Do you want to go over the last option for everyone, or do you need more time to calm down?
No, I should be fine.
Great, I don't really want to talk about this one, so this is all you.
Okay, so, this giant transforming alien robot that looks like Sean Connery, but sounds like Leonard Nimoy, decided to use his teleportation technology to bring his home planet, which was devastated by a civil war over a magical space cube, but not really, into Earth's atmosphere, and then enslaved humanity with the help of his species' local terrorist group and the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. Chicago became an occupied nation, and humanity, in its infinite wisdom, decided to kick out the obvious good guys via spaceship, allowing them to reenact the Challenger disaster.
Did Big Bird die in this one?
No, but our cool robot space dad did.
No!
Except he didn't! Huh? Yeah, just a few hours of guerrilla warfare. Robot Space Jesus heroically won after ripping off the head of his sworn nemesis after he offered a truce and then executed an old, injured, unarmed man in cold blood while he begged for his life. And then, like a true hero that he is, he did so by double tapping him point blank with a shotgun.
Wait, then how did the apocalypse happen?
Oh, yeah, that. 2 movies later, we found out that our planet is actually the shell of Space Satan.
Earth is what?
On to final words! Today, for final words, I would like to briefly discuss the host Chris Logan's hobbies outside of media. So no movies, video games, TV shows, or reading. Firstly, and most prominently, I'd like to shamelessly plug the BSU Ping Pong Club meeting from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, with intermittent tournaments. All skill levels are welcome, and it's free. They provide balls, paddles, and all you have to do is show up and have a good time. I would know, as I am currently the president. We play games of 21 and 11 points, depending on how many people show up to the meet. So, if you want to fill your weeks with easy fun with friends, go to the Rec down the steps near the front entrance, 4 to 6 p.m. every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the semester. If you are more interested in some less easy fun, I might also recommend some more first-person experience from the Ball State Badminton Club every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. This one has a $20 fee and after your first 2 visits, so it's free for the first 2. And it covers your equipment and any like shirts and stuff that they provide. With that, you get a skill bracket, so you either show up on Mondays or Wednesdays. The people are nice and very welcoming. I highly recommend it. The president of the club is also pretty coolio. And that's all Chris has to say now. Bye-bye.
So, the apocalypse happened. You know, that's fun. You know what's fun about the apocalypse? I can travel around the world. There's no boundaries, no cops stopping me. I did get attacked by a radioactive rat, which is fun, which is the reason for the eye patch. You do not want to know what happened there. Chris has been acting a little bit off lately. I think he might have been mind controlled by the rats. But like, he keeps denying it, but every time I give him a cheese poof, he eats it immediately. So I'm thinking he might be controlled by the Rat King. That is a main theory. Dawson, he has been out of commission for a bit, and that's why I still think he may be that the Snake King. There's a lot of kings, because in the underground, in the middle of the earth, that's where all the animal kings go to try and attack us, Earthlings. That's my conspiracy theory so far. They're paying me real money now. Like, okay, the apocalypse just started, so I get paid money now. Where's my acorns? Where's my pine cones? Come on, people. But yeah, you know, I can't believe the apocalypse started right before the Minecraft movie and before GTA 6. Kind of sad. But yeah, that's my final words. Oh, and hi, Mom. Hi. I'm not dead. Though Carlos is dead. Sorry, Carlos. My bad. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching our glorious return. And be sure to put your guess down in the comments on which apocalypse scenario that's entirely original and we didn't just steal from some media franchises really happened.
If you want to see more from The Real Deal, then be sure to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yeah, we recently made a post about our crew producer's luscious locks of hair.
So, when do we tell them that none of those options were how the world ended and it's actually happened by